I'd almost put this to some kind of, like, disco track here. This is actually a bit of a bop, really. Put this to some beats and bounce it out in the club. Holy shoot. What is it later with AA Games having stream issues? I don't know, but we've got it working now. The thing is displaying, and you can see that we are back in the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're going to be, heading in and continuing with Great Ace Attorney Adventures. We'll get around to doing some more of case number 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. We're into part 2 of the trial, so let's go and just start it from here, shall we? Waste no time in the dickens. Waste no time in the dickens. Can't remember what we've done up to this point. I feel like I should remember off the top of my head. Anyway, here we go. The 22nd of November, 11:38 AM, Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. TGA soundtrack is a bop. Yeah, just as I say, put that to a beat, put that to a drum loop, and bounce it out in the club. I'd be down. Alright. Ah, hello, Kazuma. Excellent work, Yunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Oh, forget it! It's terrifying! If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again! That's going to happen. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Ah! Miss Giselle Brett. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone! There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along! Right? I'm not going mad. I ain't going mad. Absolutely not. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yeah, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was too busy looking at Gun, unfortunately. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, Foley, bang. Or should I say, bang. I didn't have time to think about where the scent of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Well, fast thinking about a detective. He apprehended the suspect without a moment's delay. Yeah, because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Shame I couldn't use my eyeballs in there. Stuck behind a door, in with the flour and the eggs. This is somebody who I don't know. Oh, there you are. Well done, both of you. Is it you? Ah, it is. It's a Mikotoba. Mishita Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. I forget what voice I gave you. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Did I really? Did I do that? Yeah, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour of Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then. Looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. To you. You need to prove your innocence and uncover, that's the word, uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Ah, it's time for inner thinking voice. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Don't both of you look at me like this. Sheesh. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Duh. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you! Here's me bowing like 90 degrees. Thank you! Straight over 90 degrees like that, like he probably would be doing. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom. Why have I given him this accent? I think that's good. I might stick with that because that's funny. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Please don't do that literally. You have the power of anime, I know, you windswept literally everywhere you go, but please do not actually smite them down with your katana. That would be bad, okay? Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Oh, look, I have faith in you. Might be misplaced, as a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really gonna give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. So it's not Eldon's noodles. I don't think that'll exist back here. This isn't Japanifornia, this is actual Japan. So it's not noodles anymore, it's actual sukiyaki. There you go. You got a nice sumo name as well. Alright, here we go. 22nd of November, 12:09 PM. Didn't start bang on 12. Shameful. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Ah, it's our friend. But are they salty? Actually, it's been a long while since I've had any sukiyaki, to be fair with you, so I would need to taste it again. I'm sure you can get, like, salty versions of sukiyaki. I'd have to get back to you on that one. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Auchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency. Against all odds. and thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry? Like, that's meant to be my job. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. There's nothing to worry about. You just reminded me I need to move my chat box up to somewhere more comfortable. There we go. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when a new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Yunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Somebody went there. Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing! Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Eh? That's what he said. He's going there. He's getting these wings. Yeah. Well said, Yunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror, are you seriously acting like a gazelle right now? You little brats! Shut it. Hammer down. Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system. It exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! Ow, my head! My very shiny forehead, ow! Swan on the hats? Swan on the hats? Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea! Is that true? Ebak, is that true? I wonder. No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation to the courts? What? No discussion happens in England without some tea. The game literally just said it. Is that actually true? Do you think so? Discussions usually take place over some kind of beverage, I'd say. Tea, coffee, beer, probably. We'll see. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. Not waiter, but I've been working undercover as the head you went too quickly, thank you. Tea for history, thank you. I've been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival, but my true... Yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Probably in this time period, yeah, like you say. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yeah, I think I did, didn't I? That you did. Yet, your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Yunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. No face on just set. Oh, she masquerading. Ooh. Hello. Hello, eh? Oh! Oh, I've put it together now. She's studying to be a doctor. That's why she has the bad handwriting. Right. She's training to be like a nurse doctor, and she's practicing the really bad handwriting like all doctors are supposedly meant to have. Oh, I see now. Doesn't explain the swan in your head, though. Okay. Lorem ipsum dolorsit amet. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but ha! Oh, I think she... Okay, I see what's going on here. She's gonna whisper very slowly, and Hosanaga's gonna interpret. Or is it simply because they just don't know what the English language is? It could be literally just that, couldn't it? It's either she's trying to be a doctor and she's speaking in her bad handwriting, or she's literally speaking in English, and everybody does not understand English because this is Japan, of course, and it could also be a representation of the language. Yeah. Or her speaking RP. Speaking roleplay. Speaking proper Queen's English in a Japanese courtroom, which, of course, nobody here would understand. Probably apart from Hosonaga, who probably has special training being an undercover detective. Also, hello, Jess! Hello there! General Kenobi, how you doing? Nice to see you here for some Ace Derby! Right. Live transcription. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMay University's medical faculty. So she is training to be a doctor. Nurse. So she's... I think I'm sort of like partway there as well with the fact that she's speaking in bad handwriting. So yeah, there you go. Oh my! What a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people! I don't understand it. I don't understand the words you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yeah, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Yunosuke. Hammer down! The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if it may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? Ebak, I'm gonna drop this here now when we do this. When we do this game as part of Silly Voice Saturday, I'm taking Brett and I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just basically going... I'm literally doing that. I hope you realize. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Well, shoot. Order! Order in court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. It's clear. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. What he said. I can almost see her, like, speaking in, like, a sort of a Princess Peach sort of... I can see her speaking like that. Alright. She testifies a frightening and sorrowful sight. Or rather... or rather you interpret for her. Okay. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only. A beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun, Foley, bang, and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Right, where do I see this going immediately? Wait a minute, no, okay, alright, the history, the game says no, we're moving on. Alright. This is a condemning testimony indeed. And then he goes, yes! Or rather, no! I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. That's why I was gonna actually say that you literally, he's gonna say, I literally went over and said a friendly hello, and yeah, that was all hello, and all very friendly and whatnot. So that's probably gonna be maybe what we argue against, but we'll see. Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! Look at this Snow-White angel! I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe! We're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you'll need to learn. Oh, but he's so annoying! Isn't he just, like every single Ace Attorney game, we have to go through this at some point, don't we? Somebody who is a right royal pain in the butt. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. The Swan could literally be a turret for all I'm aware. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. Ugh, that's ridiculous! When I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could That's a step too far, mate. That is a step too far. Don't think about doing anything rash or illegal or uncouth of a gentleman, Yunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up! There must have been another gun there that day! You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. What's this smirk all about? The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Thank you. Time to try and pick apart lady with swan for a head. Alright, pick it apart. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. Professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Can't exactly disprove that. There was only one table set and it only had beefsteak on it. The accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Why would we get into an argument when Ryosuke is always saying that, he literally just went over to say a cheerful hello? I'm gonna press this. Yes! I never got into an argument with the professor! All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello! Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you! It was meant for the lady next to you! But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor! I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? This spread does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not! Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway! English is the future! We must all speak English! Look, I ply this trade as my job. This hurts me on an emotional level. Let me have my pain, thank you. Let me have it. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Again! I ply this trade as my actual profession. I'm feeling this pain right now. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems after the arguments, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yeah, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay, that didn't seem to go much away. So the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes here. Don't think we got anything to go on there yet. And now we're gonna go right to the end. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie! Still, the statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. Who's got Deadpool eyes, I noticed. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons and the wind that blows in your face all the time. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose the testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous look you're getting from around the room. Only too well, I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in your testimony doesn't make me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Get it to reveal if it... Is there something in that? I should know. Right. For slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson. I don't think anything in there doesn't check out. Professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Huh? We can do a space to examine it. So I wonder if there's anything in this. Victim sat at the chair where the beefsteak is set up. Is there something in that? Not entirely sure just yet, but I'm gonna press this. Yes! He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hoda Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Sorry, I didn't know the pop-up come up. Right then. Was Miss Bratz aware of this fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean... that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Bratz? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was... Oh, wait. That's my inside voice talking. Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled into a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor wasn't able to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Yunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's nothing or it's very meaningful. I believe that's very meaningful. You must add it in, but thou must. That last statement of yours, Miss Pratt, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. Defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Bratz. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Yunosuke. Well, I'm just letting cool words that you say. So cheers over a glass of carbonated water. I feel like that is a significant portion of this. Let's have a look at the evidence again. Okay, it's nothing in the... Don't think I'll see anything in the photo. Yeah, I don't think so. But does it... From eating or drinking anything but water? I could be thinking way too much into this, but the fact you went with carbonated water rather than just still water? I don't know. I don't feel like this is gonna go anywhere. Not currently, until I press some more things. We can move us around and it'll say things, right? Yeah. Clearly a record of some kind of medical treatments. And there's an entry for the day Professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Yeah, I think I've read this already. This person had to have a decayed tooth removed. They used laughing gas. Yep. There's a cautionary note at the end from whoever wrote this. It says, no food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. I don't know if the thing is, like, I don't know if the thing is that if it's the fact that it was carbonated water and not just still water, but if the game's not making that as a thing, then I don't think there's anything to read into it. I'll think about it more as we have ourselves a bit of an ad break because it's time to run one of those. I'll see you in a little bit. Hey dilly ho, we're back. There was a bit of an issue. I had an audio blip, and it's led to all of this going on here. So I don't know why there is no music happening currently, but at the very least we do have sound. I'm gonna double check on the audio stuff. Very dead quickly here. Ah, I didn't mean to press that. I'm a there. All right, F autoplay, autoplay, go. Just let it do its thing. I can go to the options menu from here, can't I? So the music goes on. I don't know why the music has decided to say no. Maybe when the next thing comes up, then it'll do so. In fact, I could just... Well, I could get through this like quicker than, because I've seen all this before. And I did just have it. I mean, technically these are new things, so I should have probably read all these, but yeah. If it's not customary to use assuming Great Britain now. That is frightful. Absolutely not. Sure, you come to think of it, the first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. Is it really for you? But anyway, back to the point at hand here. Ah! Somehow I feel like there's something out of place in this. The way he turned to just look at me right now is just like, oh, that's scary. Don't do that. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know when that might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Heck yes! Understood. We're gonna try it. Right. The accused came over to greet the presser. I thought there was something in this. I don't think it's... Yeah, I had to think about it. I don't think it's in the fact that it was carbonated water. Because that would... Because they haven't specified if it was like any like still or anything like that for his for the victim's dental report. If it didn't specify that, then that's obviously not the thing we're gonna focus on. But let's have a look at the photo again. Professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. But let's have a look at the crime scene photo again. Is there something in this? Oh, okay then. Okay. If you said cheers, typically that would mean if there were 2 people at this table, you would need 2 sets of glasses. Or you need 2 glasses to do a cheers. 1 for each of you. Why is there only 1 then? Why is there only 1? This one right here. Let's see if that's the thing we're gonna talk about here. Present? Question mark? Yes! That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. There we go, music's back. Just needed to play the next track. Okay. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. It's very odd. Dear me. What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Yunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Objection! Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass might make on this case? Objection! Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you gonna try to tell me you can clink with only 1? He's gonna tell me that you swigged from the bottle. So, the lady swigged from the bottle instead. Is that what I was gonna say here? Nah. You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she'd saying. Good gracious!
Sorry.
Oh my goodness! There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. No, please. We must remember that this student has just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of... mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? A handbag? That's what we're getting at. Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. That could be a concealment. That could be a concealment. I hope you're aware of this video game. Concealment for a firearm. I think I see where this case could be going. So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on this case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Sorry, I'm hiccuping now. Indeed. The lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yeah, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, I think it's... Let's not think about this. Let's say, I think it's the handbag, because as I'm alluding to, I think that is a way that she can conceal more than she is letting on. It's the handbag that she mentioned now. Wait! The lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. Ha! In which case, it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. Dun 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 dun. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga! Yes? Did you or did you not search Mr. Jailbrett's handbag on the day of the murder? Well, shoot. No, sir, I did not. Well, shoot. It's as I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Dun 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 dun. Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Aochi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Did you think so, Kazuma? That's him coughing up all over the floor. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Huh! As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. Really now? I have a piece of evidence that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Oh, well, I never! You can see right through to what's inside. How convenient. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like this are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. No, did we bungle? Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit this print as evidence at once. Hi! Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. A photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed. And there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Yunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. But what? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a lucky student. But the weak are meat, while the strong will eat. You are wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content, from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Oh, I wanted to say something bad then, and I would not blame him. Yunosuke Naruhodo, after considering all the evidence before me, is a yes! Wait! Your Excellency! Yunosuke! I don't think you can rule on this case just yet! Objection! This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Yes! Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic printer submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt on this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. Objection! This is blatant straw clutching. Look at the photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Yunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. Alright. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate. But this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Nothing about the handbag screams it, but I think it's gonna be something about what this mark is. What is this bull cow mark that you've got on you? Is this the thing that we gotta glean from this? Alright, you can never be too sure. You can never be too sure. You're allowed to. It's your game. If you want to continue to save, you can continue to save. But I believe it is gotta be the mark on your wrist. So mark it off all up in there, and then... present. Yes! Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. An objection! Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? Do we, though? Why don't we inspect... Not that one. Let's actually submit the, this is what I'm led to believe here. This piece came out served in a hot plate. So, and in that case, this bit here would be like the actual like plate itself, not the wooden bit, but the plate it's situated in. That would be very, very hot if it's just literally come out of the oven or whatever it's been cooked with. And that's very conveniently a symbol that looks like a burn mark. So this would probably be either signs of like an accident that startled the lady, or signs of maybe a potential struggle. I think I see where this case is going. I do. And no possible way of knowing either, but I know, I do. I knows. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Duh! Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady! We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. I think not. What you thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope I might uncover something useful. I think we just did. Yes, you're right. Yeah? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shitting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel! You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence... Evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. Take a deep breath, mister. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. It's gotta be what I pointed out here, is the fact that you see that the bull marking on the hot plate is so much the same look as what's on as the burn mark that's on his wrist. It's such the same mark. It can't. It must be this. It must be this. Surely. I'm actually not even going to overcompensate for this one. Yes. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. Technology is incredible. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Ah! A soft breeze comes in to bring comfy vibes. Hello, Miss Lily Breezy. Thank you so much for coming in.
Hang on a moment. Gotta say hello and thank you so much, Lily Breezy. How are you today? Thank you for sending in the lovely people.
Lily Breezy, find out what you were getting up to. Hello?
Nice to see you here, and everybody else who's come in with this lovely little raid.
It's nice to have you here.
You're joining us for some great Ace Attorney adventures. I'm playing this for the first time as a single-player experience. It's very enjoyable, and it's going very well so far, I think.
Thank you for the answer, of course!
And we're going to do it the official way as well, Lily Breezy. I do know Lily Breezy as a very, very nice, awesome person, a friend of a friend, and yeah, streams are obviously very good here, but do stick around if you can. Hello, my name is Laura Petal. I'm a variety person who tends to do 3 times a week, usually, a variety of stuff here. Usually we swing to platformers, action adventures, the odd RPG, and in this case, we're doing some Ace Attorney today. I have a big thing that I'm going to do the entirety of the Ace Attorney series in chronological timeline order, which is going to be a very, very fun project. But yeah, thanks for sticking around if you can. Of course, if you need to raid and run, please feel free to do that as well. Not a problem in the slightest. I know that Lily says I've got to run to work now. Of course, if you need to get to work, I will not stop you. I will not stop anybody who needs to go off and go away here. But I do appreciate you coming along and sending your love my way. And I hope that we can take good care of everyone you've sent over in this little raid. Thank you so much, Lily, and I hope you have a pleasant work day. Thank you for coming up. Okay, spare me a second, because I think I missed something in the thing. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. That they are. As I said, at this time, technology is incredible. Oh, do hurry up, rookie! What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. She says absolutely nothing. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have this unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? Objection! You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? It would be the bull mark on this hot plate. Bum. Yes! The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency! Are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. You didn't know that, but I pointed it out. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape! Ah! Yunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Hot damn! Objection! But even if that is the case,
We can't know if it's happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well, Objection. Sadly, Prosecutor Aochi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
Why on earth? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But.
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I have not heard anyone scream at all. As a head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
So I'm like, what is he then, actually? Yes! There you have it. Something isn't right here. As a detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day or any before it. That's right! And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, well, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aochi?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Yunosuke, do you think...
He's deep in thought.
Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap! Damn. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... swinging this way now. Could it be something to do with maybe the, maybe with the amount of, like, anesthetic used at the thing? Or maybe there was a, what was it? Some foul play afoot with his dental treatment. I think that's what we're getting at here. I think he was already dead. So anyway. Was that AFK getting lunch? The eternal struggle of having not too much sauce put in my sandwich. It's went way better than usual. I mean, you've always got to want to have some sauce. If you want to ask for more sauce, you get more sauce. You do that, Julia. Yeah, we're having fun with Ace Attorney. It's been a good stream so far. And very, very enjoyable. I hope you're having a nice day as well. But yeah, it looks like I don't give a monkeys about this. We'll do it later. Shush. Right, you hadn't noticed the burn, you were asleep. I think you were already dead at the time. There's some misplay with your, dental appointment. I think this is where we're going. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. They usually drown it in salt and I always ask for less. Oh, okay, you ask for less. Ah, that's fair enough.
I mean, if you want less, you get less.
The customer is always right. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead?
Hmm.
Everybody's on their nerves now. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Is it though? There's been some foul play with his treatment. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency! This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. But clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection! Sandwich out on the counter. No, don't do that. You'll get sandwich toppings everywhere. Don't do that. No, Professor Aochi. It's you who's got no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible! I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events.
What the twist?
I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency!
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Ooh, that looks like a bit more of a determined look on her. A more determined, pose. Is she going to say something? What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
What? Ah!
Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
There was fakery efforts.
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country, after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? Had to bounce for a second. Mod duties called.
Oh no, not mud duties.
I hope they weren't too bad, though.
Well, welcome back, nonetheless. My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men of this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Oh,
Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this, the lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
what a groveling so-and-so. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally gonna hear in our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Dun 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 dun, that they are.
And she's gonna do it herself.
in Japanese/English. That's in in-game language. There we go. I can tell we're getting somewhere because this is the sped up testimony music, so we're getting somewhere with this.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death beside the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken... without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
I think it's something to do with the fact that it was foul play during medical treatments, to be honest with you. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Alright, easy does it. Everybody's trying to get out of this lady now. Sad that that's being so true.
I hope that this is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue.
My god, she's absolutely xenophobic.
Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
Lady! Lady, please. Look at this poor man. He's just saving the best face that he can here because he desperately wants... You know what?
Oh, not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen.
Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer just then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Wow, that's a psych up. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Thank you. So does that mean I can't let us get to the end, otherwise he's gonna say, like, you didn't find anything? Alright, that's your chance gone. Okay, the victim's death. Let's have a look at this. I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the person and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death beside the gunshots. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Again, let's go back to this. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. I'll say not a perfect cut across the places, is it? Let's have a look. Is there anything in our... Is there anything in our stuff right now? We can have a look at the post-mortem reports. Was caused by loss of blood or whatever. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. That suggests gunshots. I don't think there's anything in your thing that says that. I could have a look at more details on the medical report card. I don't know, is there anything that comes of it? This is clearly a record of some kind of medical treatment. There's an entry for the day when the person was killed. I think I've seen this already. Yep. am I allowed to have a look on... I can't find anything out of place. Am I not allowed to see... anything else here? Right. Nothing in my evidence right now. I think I need to do some, I need to do some poking at the testimony. Let's say we can have a look at it only. Oh yeah, we can have a rotate a bit like that. So let's just doubly check and make sure on this, because I can rotate it all around. Hota Clinic. Go to John Wilson and the Hota Clinic. Required for every visit to the place. Okay, none of that screams anything. I gotta poke some testimony. Okay, let's start right at the beginning. Yes! But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something.
Sorry?
Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you?
Huh? What? Ah!
Oh, what's fun! You hadn't realized!
That dear lady is absolutely right! As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Yunosuke. What did you tell me?
Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose the honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. He said it himself, right from the horse's mouth. He has a tiny brain. Yes! Well, I can't.
Anyway.
So we just get to poke fun at the fact that his fly was undone there. Whoops! Press this. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. It explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although...
Although?
Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table... I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Can you? I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of the others in court, it means, bless you.
I think it means the exact opposites.
Anyway.
Would otherwise try to glean something from that, but if the game's not giving me any further than that, then I don't think there's anything to that. Press about the post-mortem. Let's go. Yeah, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma.
Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma in the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it could only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was brought to the table by the waiter. Yeah, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection! And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Aouchi is right. Loath to say it. Alright, nothing in that. Another man's life could be taken without leaving it. I think it's something to do with the fact if we press it to make it details, I don't know if it's going to happen, but my thinking is there's some foul play at the clinic that happened, like an overdose on the laughing gas, potentially. Let's see what she has to say about it. Without leaving a trace.
If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces of all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If heaven forbid you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yeah, evidence. I don't have any to press on it right away. I'll present on the fact that the laughing gas was used in it in particular. I'm going to take my contingency save here, just in case something bad happens when I press this last statement. Alright, let's see if we can filter through it all dead quick. Back roll of that, and press this just very quickly. Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right! Le Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly! Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Hello! Can we take a peek over to you right now, or are we gonna notice something?
It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful as I can. You understand?
Killer blow! The lady's as formidable as she is beautiful! Amazing! He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Professor Ouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Yunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yeah, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We have to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean... I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Yunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean... about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About you, because you reacted. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yeah, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I put Miss Brett on her last statement again. And once we do a little ad break because it's time to run one of those, I'll see you in a couple of minutes! Alright, let's get back into the swing of things. Now that we have been told about the whole thing of other witnesses present on the stand may react to what others are saying, It told us to press the final statement again, which we can do, and we shall go like that and go, yes! Going to say all this again, because we've already done it. Yep.
Wait.
Wait! Does that mean we can sidle over? And that's it. I don't know if it actually like forces me to look at this again, or if I need to actually click on the bubble and have him react to it. But nonetheless, we're going to be introduced to it, I think, now.
Yeah, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you find they often let their guard down.
You're right. Just look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man in this train of thoughts. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Yunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker.
What marker?
That one there. This one here, Yunosuke. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with A and D, or should I say ah and you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person just at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with and see what's on his mind.
Alright, here we go.
Me, that even the investigation takes into direction. Fuck the evidence, man.
Nah, but D, please. Oh, right. There we go, now we can move it. Hey! What are you gonna say about this, huh? Hey, look around. Oh, look between the witnesses. Okay, right. Excuse me! Gah! What the? What is the meaning of this? Sorry? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you.
And he really was lost in his thoughts, deeply.
It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. What was you thinking up there? Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the courts.
No objection! What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yeah, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved with the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Is there something gonna say? Nope. Oh, he's letting slip. Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. And now she'll pay attention. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that?
I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done.
Cough, spluttering, blood everywhere.
A crime scene thief?
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there.
Take this, for example. Is that? This is a bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now.
Well, that would just taste terrible then, wouldn't it? I already don't like carbonated water on its own at the best of times. So, flat, carbonated water? You just have that terrible, like, after bit of... For me, that would be, like, in the back of my throat. But I wouldn't have the tingliness or the fizziness either. That would just be just rank-tasting water to me. So yeah, still water, please, or none. Or if it's going to be carbonated, at least make it a soda. Or at the very least, put your carbonated water in with something else to make it, you know, palatable.
But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it.
One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. He's coughing again. I'm not going to cough with him. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass of bottle of water as evidence. Alright, the carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table, and it's now in the court record.
Miss Brett, can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
Huh, what was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his... fervor. Please get the blood off your face, man. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death beside the gunshots. Ah. Possibly might need to examine the bottle if that's possible. Thank ya. Read the label and just double check. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yeah, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. So, they're unsure about that, but we can have a look at all manner of ways here, can't we? Is there anything to say on the top? Nothing out of place? Okay. Something on the back of it, maybe? Something on the bottom, potentially? Nothing out of place. Okay, let's examine the little tiny little bit of liquid left. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle. Although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Yunosuke! You can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Yunosuke. In more ways than one.
But I wonder, could there be anything in this water? Well, what's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah! I think character is thinking what player is thinking. This is actually the substance that ended Dr. Wilson in some way. That's what I'm thinking.
I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility.
A possibility. Now that we have distinguished the possibility, it's just which statement do I need to press it on? Is it on... rather present it on. Is it this one? If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Let's be sure we know what we're doing here. Just as a safety net. That's all it is. Don't even worry about it. Alright then. Let's see if this is it. You want some other way that a man's life can be taken? Maybe man's life being taken by this. Haha, I think I got it right.
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison?
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside?
Oh my god, he's so shocked.
Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Hot damn. That would be what, that would be an entirely, like, noble woman's way of doing things, wouldn't it? That's how you do it in nobility stakes. You don't just often... You don't just often through physical ways. You do it by sipping them something when they don't recognize, when they don't realize it.
I'm gonna mute there so you don't hear any coughing. Order, order! Ha! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly have done it. Jezzael Brett! It was you!
Ooh.
No objection! This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence! You little rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection! This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Yeah.
If I may,
I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on us. Shut up!
Thank you.
it is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady.
Jeez, where did that come from? She just snapped.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady, to what are you referring?
I described your police forces inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. Oh, the bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contained poison or not.
Hey! Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already?
Please remind me again.
I strive for a flawless investigation every time. Ha! I put on my glasses. I don't believe it! Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector?
If it turns out that the water was completely clean, it must have been the glass instead, and particularly the glass that she took from the table and put in her handbag. That's gonna be the incriminating evidence, I think.
I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison on any description in a bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! It's the glass! Something was in the glass rather than the bottle. The glass that she took and is in the handbag.
I'm very grateful to all of you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But I say, arigatou gozaimashita. Oh, but of course, dear lady, the pleasure is all ours.
Oh, but I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, the shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. Oh, I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma. I'm sorry, Inosuke. I've got nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
In comes Friendly Face. Whoever did this? Who did this? Oh, it's you!
Hold it. Please, wait.
Huh? Isn't that... What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikatoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Mikatoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a ball of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth.
Ha ha ha! She's gonna be rescuing and say that she's got the decisive evidence that puts Miss Brett in her place. Save your progress? Yeah, why not? Always worth doing so. And it did say to be continued. You know what we say to that? Immediately! We continue it straight away. 22nd of November, 1:14 PM. Gosh, that took a long time to go through in-game, didn't it? The Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Here we are, back in here.
And she's there, our savior, Susato.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less! The rules state that females are not permitted to this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I only ask for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
You didn't say guilty or not guilty. Shut your face.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful.
Hi, she's here now. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English?
It's Giselle Brett's research.
Huh? The Englishwoman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and... borrowed this paper.
Oh yeah, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Cura and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Cura? What's that? I've never heard of that word before.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the college. You'll be nice to some ladies, but not to others. What a shining example of male chauvinism.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on the note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful! Thank you!
Right, Gisele's report detailing an unknown poison
that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck.
Oh, she's awfully lovely about it, isn't she?
You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer.
Oh, but by heck we're going to.
I ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to this court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Shinosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yeah, I know.
Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. Holy shoot, yes we do. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer?
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'd have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat this as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
I mean, she's preaching. I try my best. I probably should try harder in some points, but...
Well, my apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
It is... Wait, do we need to examine it actually first? I think we need to examine it first.
A poison made from the... Synopsis about this. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate prey. Interesting! Instant paralysis on the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when a poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Oh! By a blowpipe dart, or just by ingestion. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result for the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Jesus! Well, it's gotta be the book then. I already had to look at it. That one present. Boom! Yes! Miss Giselle Brett, we understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Curar, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
No objection!
What's complete and utter nonsense?
Cura, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
You're not a researcher, you dolt. I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Cura before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist?
And that too.
Also the fact that he isn't a researcher himself, you dolt. Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Cura.
Why?
Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of the highly deadly poison.
What? That's right.
Order! Order! Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to the report authored by the visiting research student from England, Cura has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced in the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Cura suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Bretts?
Objection! Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners wouldn't have surely noticed. Paralysis, though.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
We're doing a turnabout.
Haha!
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Cura was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they are in total agony, there will be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Cosima. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
Sounds it. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell.
Dang!
That is the true nature of this deadly Cura poison. Holy shit. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
An objection! This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. Oh, what a happy tale for the defense. If I may, all these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught to shut up! It is you who must be taught. Oh, of course, dear lady.
I know where that was going, that line was going. I knew where it was going.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal of us honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection! Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is well, it's breaking the rules.
What's so funny?
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see why not. She's gonna sip it, all the effort is gonna go, and then I'm gonna point it at the fact that it was in a glass instead that she's putting in her handbag. It's clear as day to me. Clear as day to me.
Don't get too big to your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really.
Ah,
But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Or as you would say, kampai!
so she either actually dies from this, or... Yeah, she either dies from that, or it's going the way where I think it's going, where she's absolutely fine, and then we prove later on that she slipped the poison onto the glass itself, that she has conveniently put into her own bag to take away from the scene as evidence. Or to remove the evidence from the scene. Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for a shabby affair.
Duh. She's gonna be absolutely fine. Poison would have taken into effect by now.
Oh, goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all looked quite stunned.
Do you think you just drunk poison, you... Come on, lady.
So, no Curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? Oh, she's laughing like this for sure. She's absolutely laughing like that.
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
Ugh.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Oh, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and let it tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she'd have keeled over dead. Come on, Yunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water does not contain poison. It's the glass itself.
I swear it, the one you kept in your handbag.
As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Yunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poisoning in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world.
Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? Phew, just figured that out, my goodness.
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel, for which you will be penalized. Oh, that's not right, so there was poison in there. This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? There can have been, because otherwise you'd have killed over dead. Come on, Yosuke, we have all the clues. That bottle of water, okay, apparently it doesn't. Alright, apparently it does contain the poison, but okay. The culprit did put Cura poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
An objection! Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that a bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it.
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
how exactly?
Right, I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Hammer down. Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
It's her own glass. Not the way that I thought it would go, but it definitely does involve the glass here, I think. Let's double check I don't need to actually highlight the glass itself. But it's right there, isn't it? So yeah, apparently her own glass is clean somehow, and she's, able to take that there. And that was... I don't know, I might be thinking too hard here, but it's gotta be something to do with that.
It seems the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused, is the only real source of complication in this case. You'll have to think harder than that, defendant.
Oh, okay, wrong bit of evidence again.
Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. Don't make this complication more complicated than it needs to be. Alright, I'll do my best to find the answer that fits the facts. If the defense, sorry, the wretched accused, truly intends to assert this claim, support the assertion with evidence.
Hold a moment here. Something in here.
Body through a wound such as that inflicted by a blowpipe ducts.
So, is the game wanting me to go down the way of that maybe I had it wrong all the way back when? It's not just general ingestion? Directly into the bloodstream via a wound, because honestly, if it's been drunk, then very unlikely it gets into the bloodstream. Is that what you're getting at here, game?
They only occur when the poison enters the body through a wound.
That is what the game wants me to think, isn't it? The actual bullet wound was from a charge, from a round, that somehow got coated with this substance, with this poison substance. I think that's what the game wants me to get at here. But I am going to do contingency saving just in case, because I've already got it wrong twice already. Rather quick thinking here, so yeah. Right, so we're done saving. So it's this I need to present, and particularly the page that says somehow the only reason they can take effect is that it goes into the bloodstream via a wound. And it wants me to go the way of that the wound that the bullet caused is how the poison was able to enter the bloodstream and instantly paralyze this man. Like, instantly paralyze? Okay, game. That's what you want me to do. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
No objection! That's not a valid explanation!
No? After all!
We don't speak English! That report is utter gibberish! This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency!
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Thank you! You actually let me choose. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Let's check. Let's check it, so that we're sure. I think it was page 2. Title synopsis, title special characteristics, route of entry. Yeah, page 2. Okay, got ya. Special characteristics, that one. We've been hearing a lot about this Cura poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years, to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please!
But if they were to use those laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yeah, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel! Now that would be madness! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yeah, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Cura enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. So, some kind of mouth chemical, like our salivas, are able to neutralize it? Like, denature the poison, maybe? Something like that? Game says so. Might be weird and out the far stretch. Scientists would need to, like, sciencey peoples would need to explain better than I do, but fair enough. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research, you knew Cura's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
Jesus! God, the swan's angry now! No, not like this! Well, Inosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really?
Oh gosh, me? I didn't want this! A lawyer? I don't want this!
No objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure.
But I fail to see how it possibly... Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
She's JoJo posing. Just look at her. Look at that. That's a JoJo pose and no mistake. Just, holy shoot. What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Cura is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric sucus.
Oh, yeah, well, of course.
Gastric suckers? What are they?
Yeah. Yeah, some kind of bodily chemical, either saliva or something in the stomach tracts or whatever, stomach lining, denatures this thing then. Roundabout way to go about it, but sure. It does kind of add up in my non-biology chemistry brain, but okay.
So this evil poison is completely harmless when drunk? The Professor would have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Duh!
That's right!
Good gracious!
That's basic science! Science that even a schoolboy would be able to understand, no?
Order! Order in court! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest...
Yes! This QR poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right! Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that!
Damn.
What is this? Welling up inside me. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Ah! Objection! Damn, he said it.
Ah!
He's going. Look at this. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that term with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Cura? It's his wound! It's his wound! It's in here right here, I believe. I believe it is, but I'm gonna contingency save just to make sure that I am sure of this. We're getting awfully close. I know I still have like 3 lives left, but we're getting pretty close. But I believe it's due to the fact that there is a gun wound on him. And that had to be the only explanation, surely. Take that! Nope, it doesn't like that. Shoot. I'm sorry, Counsel, but the slip-hood manner in which you've tossed that evidence before the court does not inspire confidence. Huh? Listen, Yunosuke. There's no need to overthink this. We know that Cura's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters. I had to actually point out the fact that there's a wound on him. That's what I needed to do. So that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. Exactly. So we need some evidence that would prove for the
So we need some evidence that would prove the professor had a wound inside his mouth. Oh, of course!
I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. I've now know the poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would have been killed? It's his dental reports. He had the extraction. That must still be quite sore then. That would probably be it. Let's try that instead. There you go. Thank you, game. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the 2 diners. A fatal difference?
toxic effects of Cura are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yeah, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this.
Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish torturing games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oh, she's making a break for it. Oh no, she grabbed the bottle.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No!
I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear! How careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! What is it? What just happened? It's an Englishwoman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady?
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
I need a drink. I need a drink first. And in fact, what I actually need is, to give myself a bit of a rest, because I think after we take another ad break, very quickly, we can wrap this thing up straight afterwards. So,
We will be back in a couple of minutes.
alright, let's get back into the thing. I need to look at the history, because I think I skipped over one line here. Yes, I did. Cosmo did an objection, and says to Miss Brett, "No, you killed the victim that day, using Cura, and then in order to frame Yunosuke Naruhodo for the crime. You waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun." Bang. Then in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man.
Duh.
A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Yunosuke Naruhodo.
God, this is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way that she destroyed the evidence was obscene.
Yunosuke! Yeah? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yeah, that's true, but
I didn't manage to notice this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head.
that would be a detail very, very big to miss out on, let's be honest here. Excuse me. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt, every color. Every
Oh, it was oh my god, was it never the drink? Was it never the drink? Huh? What's going on? Wait, what?
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same seed in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer?
I mean, what you're looking at there, come on now. There is a clue. Blood! On the plate! What's going on here? What's with that? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Yunosuke? Ha! Come on then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright. I can't wait.
It's been niggling at me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this.
It's here somewhere. The clue that shows us who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... right here, the bloodstain, surely. Take that! Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it?
He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed.
Well, that looked like an expensive bottle, honestly. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
An objection! Wait a minute! Where are you going with it? Shut up! Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yeah. For blood to have made it onto the plate implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon? Objection! This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it! Somebody said hold it. It's you! Hatsunaga. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector! You mean... Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence for the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice! If you know, you know. If Divot knows, he knows. He's probably gonna know if he ever watches this, and I did that. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Hammer down. Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table, immediately! Yes, sir! Hot damn, time to examine the beef! What's with this beef? Hey! Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. See what I did there? The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't!
Quickly, Inspector! The blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But... No! That's impossible!
No, I saw it! I'm sure of it! It was right there on the table behind the professor! There was blood on the side of the plate!
This goes deeper and deeper.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy! The car! You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Now calm down, Florist up there. No need to be rude to them.
Ah!
I couldn't agree more. In this case, in the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. This sorry-looking state reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Plate of steak has been entered into the court record. The meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch, it was removed from the victim's table after the incident.
Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost.
Yunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. You'll know it's over when the wind stops blowing for me, because then I'll have given up all hope. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what.
Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself.
As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any of the clues at all?
I believe there might be. My thinking is. Here, it's not entirely obvious, but that looks like a steak barely touched. And somehow magically, in that time, then we get a crime scene after the victim was carted away. Then there was magically bites taken out of it and blood wiped off from the scene. So somebody's tampered. Somebody has tampered with this. So we are going to say there is another clue. We are going to say this. Your Excellency, please wait! The plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
An objection! The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
I mean, it's delicious.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank goodness. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found?
Would it be the food, the bites that were taken already? I believe it's gotta be something like that, isn't it? The steak itself. Bull sign. Right, the only thing it's got me to have a look at here is... Just make a double check. Nothing on the back side of it. Flipping it all the way around. Yeah, the only thing it's got me to look at are the logo, the bull logo on it, and the steak itself. So it's got to be something to the fact that, because as I said, oh, it's underneath. Oh, that's Kodakata's missing Korban. What a turn-up! What a twist! Huh? What in the world is this?
I think it's a Korban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what it is. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Korban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable.
This isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban.
I've heard of pearls before swine, but I never heard of bullion and bouillon.
Dear me, game.
And I don't think you ever will again.
This is extraordinary, though. This means...
This means there's something over here. How did the Korban end up in beefsteak? How did this happen?
I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well, look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? No. But the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize! I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Yunosuke. Or rather, one end of the steak.
A Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Alright, I'm gonna present it.
I actually needed to present it, Doy. No point to talk about it, right? Present. Got it!
Good gracious! That's...
Korban? What on earth?
a Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Is it? I should say. There's be a better inflection there. Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up! Florence! Attack position! What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life! I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it! An objection! I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction!
Objection! Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath this piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now.
He's right. It can't be a coincidence.
Your Excellency! Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now! You were never a lawyer in the first place, mate. Calm down, calm down.
An objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up! Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is relevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here.
The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Oh, old man's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to.
The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is one Curio Correcta, the owner of Rasute.
That one.
Take that! Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Correcta-san.
Curie? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Yeah, so is English to these guys. Like, chill out. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Korban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei had a Korban, my prized coin.
That's how he was doing, yeah. Lady, have you seen the English dictionary names? Exactly. Exactly. Then, this Hoei era Korban. Do you mean to tell me?
Objection! No. Please, why would Korekata-san's Korban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes! Which is why I'm asking you to bring Korekata-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
I can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Korban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case.
This is going on longer than I thought it would, honestly. But, you know what, that's fine. Oh god, 4 witnesses. This can only spell trouble. And one of them's rocking out. One of them is completely... What's all this about? Why have you been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby Aido? When my son's belly is empty, he is fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were.
like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shopowner's existence.
Be that as it may, Korakata-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen as a—
Ah! Yes, that's it! The one, the very exact one that is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be!
Wow.
as I thought?
Young men! Enlighten this decrepit old fool! Put me out of my misery! Where? Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously?
Wow. This man is crazy. Clearly couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means... somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconsolable thing!
Excuse me. Could I say something? Yeah, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. Well then, I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
Le Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed.
Wow, it's tying together to this.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Korban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already at the scene of several crimes, it seems.
Yes, yes.
I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korekata-san Korban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekata-san's Korban and hid it under the stake?
We are confidence saving, but I believe it's pointing me towards so-and-so Victom. So-and-so, person that we've been trying to get embezzled in this and single them out all the time. I bet it's gotta be you, miss. I'm sorry. Maybe you are not exactly who you say you are. Or you're putting on the biggest show ever.
Take that!
Yeah, seems like a likely candidate for a Korban thief.
No, come on, Yunosuke! Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma! Not as much as you shocked me. No one could approach the table unnoticed, even if you're a crazy fool. You couldn't have missed that. I'm not sure you should be calling Korekata-san a crazy fool, Kazuma. It was you I'm calling a crazy fool.
Maybe I'm on the wrong track yet. Yeah, I'm on the wrong track there.
I'm on the wrong track here. Let me just get that point back, please. I'm allowed. Thank you. So another thief. What you? Oh, was it you? Oh. It was you himself! It was the victim! He was stealing things. And then she went all vigilante on them. Oh, chat room, that makes so much sense. Nope, nope, I'm wrong again. I'm wrong again. Hang on a moment, hang on a moment, hang on a moment, hang on a moment, hang on a moment. I'll keep playing like this until it turns up here. Huh. I mean, they were corroborating that something here, and they were something. It's going that way. It was! Oh, okay, right. The game's gonna have to explain that to me. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant, yes sir, no sir. What? How? How dare you, you monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind it. The baby? Come on now. He's shocked at this. He's shocked at this. He's like, what the hell are you saying, man? You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Wow. Clip the cop, 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 clip the cop. Child had a lot of fun with that, didn't they? Psst, fine. Fine then. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Yasa Nosa, with them to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Game's gonna need to explain this to me. But okay then. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those that expect to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son! That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money! Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for the target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
It sounds like it doesn't bother with a knife and a fork, even. Which is worryingly believable.
And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped a coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang. Yeah. When the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak. Hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Silence across the board. What do we say to this? Huh?
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you would carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time?
Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course! How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
Ha!
How? May the esteemed gentleman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well,
And as for picking up your steak and biting through it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Spretz, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Yunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking.
I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
Well, if that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Alright, gotta call out then. Hold it! Wait! Miss Brett!
Oh, what is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction? Objection! What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Yunosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yeah, I'm right. What you said there exposed the undeniable contradiction.
Did it really? I'm going to need to see some evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? See, I think it's leading me towards this, the fact that the stick itself does have a few big, like, chunky bites out of it. This might take a few times for me to, like, figure it out here. Like, it's in it in itself, like, right?
Really?
Yeah, there's no percent in any of this. We've already done it here. It's gotta be the fact that, in the meat itself. Let's have a look at it, like, desperately here. So, she said, hiding a coin under a lump of meat, the sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. But then I guess it's the fact that both things even happened. Seriously, huh? Is it the mistake in of itself? The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs!
Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you feel it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no English man could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
And of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at this steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. Yeah, it's a massive chunk out of it, isn't it? As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah!
Oh. You mean she did that?
Ah!
She did that, did she? What? It looks like Miss Brent has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. Ah, that's where he's going, is it?
Objection! But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry. Shut up! Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. No, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this Rocky in his place. Just leave everything to... Shut up! I've had enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Oh, of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? I can tell we've done it to the swans. Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Yunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
Yes. Now, at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up! Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You would know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection! This is absurd! This trial has run several hours already! And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? It can't be! I don't believe you have it!
Objection! I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. Wait, no. Let me keep what I've got going on in my head right now for later.
But if it's going where it's going in my head... Jesus, how? What? But okay. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Somewhere in your person, isn't it? I like to be doubly 100% be certain. I gotta say, it's different doing this game by yourself. I'm usually playing these kinds of games with a team of people who kind of know what they're doing. It's difficult, it's strange and very different to do it by myself and have to think about things myself, but it's gotta be somewhere in your person, surely. Counsel, I'm disappointed that this is likely your last chance. I would have expected you to be taking it more seriously. That's not correct. Ah. You need some waking up. The penalty will help focus your mind. Yeah, right. Let's try again, shall we? So it's not going where I thought it was going, which is fair enough, No. But yes! Would explain the blood that was on the thing and he wiped it up afterwards. Okay then. That does add up, actually. The answer is obvious! It's Inspector Hosanaga! What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous! Cough, splatter, hack. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Karakita-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet! I'm a superior officer! Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tension! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. Huh? In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal. Objection! But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table! Objection! Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it! To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire!
Alright, don't get ahead of yourself here. Just back it down a bit. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly!
Surely you're not going to suggest...
that the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
I think yes. That's exactly where we're going with this.
Ah!
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, Bang. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hit the coin underneath it. But when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Not now, baby, not now. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one at the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have! I never saw you do such a thing?
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Pochigusa-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes! So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plays over, it means he took Miss Brett's stake, and the play he was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga! Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's stake after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence you had taken both.
Oh, she's not happy with that now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up! What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on this case.
Objection! No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Damn right, yes, the beats.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the stake pattern promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers?
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Dang.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Do it already.
Yes, sir! For justice! Sorry for keeping you.
There's blood. There it is.
Here is the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
Oh, by Yeki thump we will. That is a very clean knife cut. That's something that a lady would do. A proper gentlewoman, if you will.
The bloodstain. It's clearly visible, look! Yes! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table, with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
Done by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No.
Ah! God, Florence is gonna go Florence is gonna go insane! Rare black one. There you go. That was a black chocobo. We found it. There you go. Bye, I suppose. Oh, he gets the dead black chick.
Oh dear. I think we got her. I think we nailed her.
Please, excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming
Let me read that again.
most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
Go on then. Give it to us straight.
It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. But the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair so that he wouldn't fall.
I think that was the bang. Was that a bang? Just in case? Bang.
There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know what the professor already carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my
It did happen. It did happen like so. Darn it, game. Darn it.
under your skirt?
So I was right. There were two guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then just as you bent down to pick it up,
There's the bang. Bang.
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead.
naturally the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun.
This is deep. My goodness. Scheming.
So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
It's bloody more than that, love.
Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder... Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you. Why so?
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
Where's that going, huh? Sorry, ads are playing right now. I apologize. Let's try and surmise then what got on there. Whole reason it came about. So Giselle had always got the plan, no matter what, to at least see that she slipped the poison to Dr. Wilson. And everything would have gone swimmingly. And she could have slipped Leo notice. But then what happened is Yunosuke goes up and says hello to the gentleman, presumably after... Would have been entertaining, wouldn't it? Presumably, like, before he takes the first sip. So... Oh no, that was the point he went back to his table and finished his coffee though, so that was the point where he must have taken the sip. But then at the same time, Sergeant Nosa and the old fogey running the shop, the sergeant was going to rob the old fogey of his Korban coin, and was like partway through doing that as well. Yunosuke gets up, about to leave, but there was a gun, there was the man's, Mr. Wilson's gun, planted by Giselle, which he noticed, took that bait, as to sort of how Giselle could pin this on him. Giselle pulls out her own pistol, shoots an already dead Dr. Wilson after he drank the poisoned water. And in all the commotion that happens afterwards, Hosonaga-san comes out from behind, apprehends Yunosuke, puts him away, allows Giselle to turn the chair around to make it look like he was facing away from her when the shot happened. And there was also a panicked swapping of some beefsteak dishes, which Sergeant Nosa put away to do so, concerned that if his beefsteak got taken away, he'd be done in for his own little misdemeanor trying to steal something from the man. As a result of that, we nearly lost the incriminating evidence that puts it that Brett was at the table where the shooting happened, because she had a clean-cut steak that she was using a cutlery to eat with. Swapped it then with the rough, bitten-into steak that was with Sergeant Nosa. So it all sorts of weirdly comes together in the way. I had to go roundabout way to get there, but I think I can make sense of this case now. It's all done here, so yeah. Miss Brett was always going to poison. It's just that then this whole fabricated thing of trying to ploy it on somebody else led to all of this happening, basically. And it inadvertently turns out that Sergeant Nosa's misdemeanor helped out with us figuring out to place Miss Brett at the scene when the incident happened. I think I can get it now. I think. Hello, after your ad breaks, I hope they're all done by now, so let's go and continue and wrap this up, shall we? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be! Takeshi Ouchi does not lose! Not in the likes of this rookie student!
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah!
Yunosuke Naruhodo!
Yes?
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten.
Right, yeah? That's exactly what Naruhodo's doing, yeah.
A drink, bartender.
I will take a drink as well, yes, Julia. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Chat. We want you to drink something.
Thank you for making sure I'm taking care of myself. I've done a lot of speaking during this thing, so it does add up that my voice suddenly loses its fervor over time, but yeah, thank you for that. Hope you've enjoyed. This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten! Yep, it's gonna happen for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, potentially. At least.
You've become conceited with age, Council, but they all have to stand aside and make way for the new.
Oh Jesus! It's gonna do it!
It's the way of the world. May you never forget that!
Hiya!
A murder has happened in this courtroom. Look at that.
A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Damn.
This trial, in the Supreme Court of Japan, will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Yunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
Damn.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why'd you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Yunosuke Naruhodo... Oh, yeah? In you, I sense... how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Yeah.
And then, hammer down. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Yunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
Way! Ah, confetti is replaced by cherry blossom petals. Makes sense.
Yee!
I did it. My very first case, kind of all on my lonesomes.
Yay!
This court is now adjourned. Hammer down.
Yay!
We win for now. 22nd of November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it! I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ah, Yunosuke! You finally pulled it off!
Congratulations!
Yippee!
Right?
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. This is gonna be Mikotobra, I assume. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, it's Chisato! Oh, okay, fine.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusted judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father?
Oh yeah, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Wait, I'm still thinking.
Speaking of Mikotoba,
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order.
Hey, yes, man.
Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
a good friend?
Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides... It's your turn, Asogi. Ah! Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Won't do forever though, we kind of messed it up. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yeah, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me. What happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Oh yes, her. Yeah, where's this going, huh? It's not easy to tell you this, but... Hang on, I need a drink. So I can spit it out afterwards. Oh, what do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's a true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? For China? Why? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? Mystery person! It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Until we find out who says that. Ah, Hosonaga! Inspector Hosonaga! Hey! It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... What's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Why on earth? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can invoke a consular court just like that! Oh, can't they? Yeah, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. That officer taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yeah, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Yunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. Hey! In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To Le Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
She is lovely about this, isn't Susato?
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson.
Kazuma? Yeah, Yunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyering in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made a difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I just did what you told me to, that's all. Besides, I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Yunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Oh, like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in even then, well, That's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience. But you never stop believing in me. Well, You faced seemingly hopeless situations time again. But you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts. Because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Yunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Hi! There he goes. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour of Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yeah. That too.
Woohoo!
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still, wow! Even in the flashback, it's like, you disrespected me! It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize
Give me a drink, bartender.
just how much it would change my life.
Hey, it's Chat. We want you to drink something.
And we drink to the end of Case 1. Yeah! For completion of Episode 1 of Great Exciting Adventures. Thank you very much for the drink redeem TV antenna. I hope you're having a nice day. We are just about to save into our slot here. And get ourselves maybe a sneakily little peeky of the start of Episode 2. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. I think we should definitely see too, if there's a cutscene to start this with. So, let's get a teaser, shall we? Start playing for the start of this episode? Yes! Let's do it. This is what happens next time we play The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. In a corner of that small dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson!" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words, the Speckled Band. I believe this terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. Damn, snake in the grass. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen. Damn. There's a snake in my boots, or rather a snake in the grass. 6:37 AM, on board the steamship Buria. I assume that's a Japanese word, Buria. So then, let's unravel this mystery. And discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. This cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. Look at this one. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is the most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. Heck. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here? Who are you and what do you think you are doing here? Only now he's saying that. No one must touch me by the time police come. We must wait. Shh, that won't be necessary. You'll see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you. Don't be absurd. This is murder, and in a cabin locked from outside. Ah, yes, a locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you and where have you come from? I am a great British consulting detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me. I think that's how we play, so we're gonna have the voices on for this. It's him! That's what we get next time, and I'm very excited for it. I think what we should do for the next time we do this. We're actually, I think that for the next episode when we get back into this, we will run that scene again with the voices. I will let the voices play out for them that time because that obviously needed some voiceover. But yeah, we get our introduction at last to one legally distinct Sherlock Holmes. This is gonna be fun, and that'll be the start. I do like the voices in this. Yeah, maybe I should put them back on for the results in that order. It would probably save my voice a little bit as well, to be honest with you. So I might consider that for the next episode when we do this on. I'll turn back on the voices. Nonetheless, that was my Sherlock Holmes impression. I hope that you did. I hope that you did rather. I hope that you rather enjoyed my interpretation of the great Sherlock Holmes. But I'll probably leave that for the game to do next time, shall we? And we will pick this up, the start of Case 2, next time we play this. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be seeing you in the next edition of the Great Attorney's Adventures! Let's do that again, because I don't think I said it properly. I'll be seeing you again for the next exciting edition of the Great Ace Attorney... third time's a charm. I will see you all again for the next exciting edition in the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. And until then, got it this time. Take care of yourselves.